Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub, and today we're going to be reviewing.
The Thor Ragnarok teaser trailer. Is that what they
Yeah,
call
I didn't get why it was called teaser trailer.
it? Yeah.
So, I mean, jumping into it feet first. Thor's chained up
Mm.
wherever that is. He's still got his long hair. And then it kind of moves on from there. How did this happen? And he dashes his hammer, Mjolnir, and then I guess Hela catches it. Hela, and she blows it up.
Yeah, so it's like it's interesting to see how this is going to work then. So that must be the beginning of the film.
Yeah, because he's got his hair.
Yeah, and so what? This is my so who is the villain? Is Hela the villain? I presume she is.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
Scourge is going to feature in it as well, and Loki's going to feature in it. But it's an interesting. It's kind of good for him in a sense, because as you can remember last time, he was kind of posing as Odin
mhm.
on the throne, but then in Doctor Strange, they're looking for him. Well, he's looking for Odin. I don't know why he's looking for him on Earth. It's interesting because there were like pictures of Thor holding Doctor Strange's address, but I figure that's to do because his hammer is destroyed. But in the comic books, Doctor Strange fixes it and kind of binds it to his life force. So it's kind of, I guess that'll kind of happen at the end of the film. So you've got to kind of assume that Doctor Strange is going to feature in it.
Yeah, he will. We will. I think that's been confirmed. Benedict Cumberbatch in the film is going to. Obviously, I presume maybe he's going to help Thor and Loki on their way to whatever it is they're trying to do. I know they've got to find Odin because I know a lot of people figured Odin would be dead and that Loki would kill him, but that's not.
It's like
That makes no sense.
it's interesting as what happened to him because Loki took his place on the throne. So
Hmm.
what's kind of happened to him prior to these events?
Yeah, he's probably. I mean, he's probably wandering the earth somewhere because Loki's not going to kill Odin because at least in the movies, the way they've done it is Loki's always looking to get Odin's favor. You know, remember the entire plot of the first movie, a lot of people kind of get it wrong and don't remember it right. He wasn't letting the Frost Giants in to kill Odin. His plan the entire time was to betray the Frost Giants, make him look good in front of Odin. That's all he wants to do, really. So he's probably dumped Odin down on Earth somewhere.
Yeah. See, it's interesting because my kind of because the theory it kind of if we transition on to the next scene is Hela in Asgard and she kind
Yeah.
of wipes it out or whatever. So I was thinking like Loki is playing the role of Odin, and then she comes in and destroys Asgard, and then you got to think he can just like ditch the guys of Odin, and then everyone assumes that kind of Odin died when she blew up Asgard. So it's kind of like it works out perfectly for him.
Yeah, maybe they need Odin to rebuild Asgard.
So that gets pretty mullered. You get flashes of it strikes a little of Gladiator, but we'll kind of get onto that. But I mean, there's kind of flashes elsewhere of like you've got Heimdall with his long hair fighting whoever, whether they're coming to save him because they look to be in a forest. And if you can remember the kind of really like slight tease in of Ragnarok at Comic Con last year, was it, where you kind of had Thor and the Incredible Hulk in a in a forest together. Hulk without his kind of gladiatorial stuff, so where that kind of fits into the story. But you've got Scourge as well, kind of going around shooting people. So I mean, the main kind of feature of the trailer is when it kind of he gets captured, taken to wherever the Grandmaster is. You've got Valkyrie kind of buddying up with Grandmaster, and then you got to figure his hair gets cut and then he gets thrown into the gladiator pits because the kind of Grandmaster's MO is to kind of pit people. It's kind of like a puppet master. He pits people against each other in various games and stuff like that. So you got him like, oh, what have you bought me? And you got to figure out the son of Odin, so get him to fight in there. I mean, they've obviously destroyed his hammer because I mean he could just go into the gladiator and gladiatorial pits and muller anyone with his hammer. So it kind of takes that lifeline away from him. So he's in there, and then obviously whatever the Grandmaster's trying to pit Hulk as, because he says the incredible, and then Hulk blasts through the door before he can finish his sentence. It's interesting because Loki's sitting on the little on the chair with him, so it's interesting really what the hell's going on there. As Loki set Thor up to drop him in there. I mean, you've got to figure if he's sitting on the same chair as him with all the people around him, he's somehow got the Grandmaster's favour. So why kind of Loki'd be there? See, it's interesting because the Grandmaster's taking the kind of what Loki's thing is to kind of pit people against each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, but Loki likes to do it from the shadows,
Yeah,
whereas this guy is a lot more flamboyant, I think.
yeah, I mean, you see Loki as well, kind of marching with an army of soldiers and flicking his two blades in his hands. So whether that kind of takes place on Asgard when it falls, so to speak, him kind of leading people into battle, like Guy is his king. You know what I mean? That's what it'd be to rule him going into battle against opposition. So yeah, and then there's the whole like, yeah, I know him from work with the Hulk, and the Hulk's kind of having none of it. So whether he kind of these gladiator fights kind of keep Hulk in Hulk form, or whether he does kind of relax into kind of the Bruce Banner guys.
I don't know, because I mean, I imagine you're not going to get Mark Ruffalo in the movie and then not have him appear. So it'll be Banner at some point, but in the Planet Hulk story, Hulk's in his element up there. Like, he loves it. He pretty much rules the planet. So it's given Hulk probably pretty much what he wants, a chance to smash things. So he might be happy doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously they're going to have to. I think the movie was kind of pitched as like a road trip through space. So obviously Thor's going to have to get him on side, and then they're going to have to race back. I presume to Asgard.
Yeah, where Hela's going to be, where I guess whether she kind of takes the throne or whether she's kind of doing other stuff. But
it's interesting to wonder how the Hulk got there. Well, I assume they're going to answer it in the film, but it's like the last time we saw him, he was blasting off in like a fighter jet or something.
yeah, he was in the Quinjet or whatever,
That's
waxed stealth mode off and kind of flew off. But whether that kind of attributes him going into space, whether the
I don't think
Quinjet's
so.
capable of space travel, that's what I mean. So he must have kind of been captured on Earth. But I mean, the same kind of, I guess, bounty hunters who or whoever who get hold of Thor wherever he is must have got Hulk as well.
Maybe that's quite a challenge because they're not going to do the Illuminati thing because they don't have the characters. So they've got to establish some other way for him to get up there.
Yeah. I figure he must get captured. So I mean, wherever the kind of aliens kind of pip up to get him, I mean, it could really be anything, but could be an interesting explanation. Then you've got kind of, I like Thor's helmet. You know, he's got the hat and he pulls it down. And it's more like comic booky stuff, but that helmet looks sick anyway. And then they kind of Hulk's having none of it, runs into battle, and then it looks as though Thor's going to give him an uppercut, and the trailer's kind of like, that's it, it's done. It's interesting because it just kind of it doesn't give away much of the story. It's really just flashes of like battles. There's no kind of cool, calm down moment.
Yeah, which might be why they're calling it a teaser trailer, even though it's only 2 minutes. Like, you don't get much of the plot. I mean,
No dialogue at all. You just have Hela turn up, destroy Asgard. Thor gets taken away. I mean, how the hell? I mean, Loki's all over the place at the minute. It's like kind of what's going on with him.
well, I mean, I suppose that's the point of the character, isn't it? I don't think he's going to be. See, I don't think he's going to be an outright villain anymore because he's so damn popular. I just don't think they'll do it. I don't know how many films like Tom Hiddleston has left on his contract though. This might be it, for all I know. It's interesting. I mean, Marvel are obviously notorious for having pretty bad villains, aside from Loki. It'll be interesting to see how Hela fares because I think probably the worst offender in terms of Marvel villains was Thor 2's villain, with Christopher Eccleston, but that elf, I can't remember the name of the damn thing.
Malekith.
That was it, yeah. So will this be a step up? I hope it will be. I think she looks cool. I think especially when she's got the headgear on, like the shooting looks good.
I'm interested what her motivations are, because whether people are kind of focusing on it, but you've got to remember the cosmic cube or the space stone is in the Asgardian
I
royal
mean, a
boat.
tesseract, so they call it in that in the
Yeah, yeah,
movies.
yeah. Yeah, so, or the Space Infinity Stone. So, will it turn out that she's been sent there by Thanos to collect the stone, or in the wake of, like, she don't bother with the Royal Vault, she ain't interested. She destroys Asgard, it all falls apart, all of them are scattered, they come back, batter her, and then Thanos just kind of, why everyone's distracted, he plops in there. Because, I mean, news of Asgard falling has got to be big. You got to figure people, at least a couple of people are going to know that the Tesseract's there through word of mouth, and then they hear Asgard's fallen, is going to think, great, I'm just going to stroll in there, grab it, get out of there, or even use it to kind of, because as soon as you get it, if you know what you're doing with it, you just teleport out of there using it. So I think odds are this could be the kind of, whether it's after seeing credit or something like that, this could be the kind of where Thanos is, instead of popping up like talking rubbish, he kind of pops up, takes a stone, off he pops, and that's one down,
Yeah,
akin to the
maybe.
Collector. And then obviously with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the second film of that, is the end credits of that going to be him getting the second stone, the ether, or the, can't remember what gem it is, but getting the red stone from the Collector, and then kind of they're going to do that in the run up to um, the whatchamacallit, or whether he does it with, instead of the Collector, he does it at Nova Corps at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think instead of him going around like talking about doing this, doing that, I think now's a period where he's going to plop around in the after scene credits, and or even the films, he's going to whack up for a couple scenes and start collecting them like he said he would.
Possibly.
And
I
then
mean,
that means that kind of saves time with the Infinity Wars film, because you don't see him kind of messing about spending half the film getting them together, because one would imagine he would have already got 3 or 4. I don't think any. I mean, that in that sense, it kind of discounts a Soul Stone popping up in those films. So whether the Soul Stone's going to appear in the first Infinity War,
there's only one Infinity War.
is it? Yeah, I thought they were Avengers, two different films, and they were kind of.
No, it was meant to be part one and part two, but now they've changed it, so there's only one film.
Oh, okay then. So yeah, even better in terms of plot purposes if he goes around collecting them now. But you got to think, there's no way. Come on, really, you can have Asgard destroyed, everyone scattered everywhere, and him not just kind of make a play for the stone. I mean
Yeah,
that.
I imagine so.
So that'll be pretty interesting. What would you rate the trailer? Because it didn't give nothing away.
No,
What did you think of the tone? I thought it was very dramatic, kind of
I'm
blowing
okay
up.
with. Yeah, yeah, but I'm okay with it. I mean, I know that some people probably won't be happy about the joke at the end, but I don't know. I'm okay with that, and
Yeah,
I think
people kicked off at that.
whatever. I mean, A, it's a Marvel movie, and B, Thor's found his niche as the funny one. That fits his character. That's his, in the movie anyway. That's his thing. He's a funny guy. He
Yeah.
has the quippy line, so why not go with it? And as far, I don't need Ragnarok to be all dark and grim. Obviously, a part of it's going to be, and then you can have a darkish movie with funny elements in it, and so I'm all for it. And I will give it an 8. I liked it. I thought I loved the look of Hela. Uh, I'm looking forward to seeing him fight the Hulk again for a bit. I'm probably more excited for this than I am Guardians of the Galaxy.
I wouldn't go that far, personally.
You're entitled to your opinion.
I think it'll be good. I think, they've kind of. I think it's going to be well written. In my head, I think it's going to be well written. So, yeah, the Grandmaster seems like is going to be kind of good. Yeah, it's a kind of a world away from what it looks like in the comic, because he's all blue with white hair, but in this instance he's got the blue mark there. But he looks kind of good, I guess. Jeff Goldblum, I mean, if he's trying to be a kind of, I figure it's going to kind of be like funny. I don't think he's going to be too serious, the Grandmaster.
Yeah, probably because they've already got Hela in the movie. You know she's going to be serious, so you don't need them both to be
So,
super intense. It's
yeah,
interesting to see with the Thor being stranded in space, they're doing away with his supporting cast from the other films, which is probably for the best. There's no Kat Dennings, there's no Selvig, there's no Natalie Portman.
uh,
Good, get rid of her.
they're whack anyway. Them three
Yeah,
are whack. They're kind of pointless. In terms of the kind of his three buddies, Lady Sith.
oh the Warriors Three.
Yeah. Those two, whether they kind of pop up, but really, just him and Hulk. You know what I mean? Because really, like, I think Hulk will be pretty prominent in this film in the sense that they still haven't really worked out to give him his own film.
They can't. It's to do with rights issues. They can't do. I think Universal still own the rights to like kind of like Spider-Man, but it's a very complicated situation. But basically, they're not going to do a Hulk solo movie, and
Yeah.
even if they could, like Incredible Hulk was all right. It wasn't great.
Mm,
I don't think you need him. I think they've worked out the Hulk's niche is like having him be a supporting character in other people's films.
yeah. I think that could work out well. So I did like the tone of it. I think there was a lot of emotive scenes in the sense of crushing the hammer, him in chains at the start. Uh, so I'll give it a 9. I'm
Wow.
I'm not. I mean, in terms of the trailer, I guess. I mean, the film it'll probably be the strongest one out of all of them.
What the
Uh,
four films?
yeah, I think it should have a good tone. Um, think of kind of the tone of kind of Iron Man 3, because that was pretty dark, wasn't it, for the third film?
It was, yeah, but again, was had its funny moments. Although a lot of people didn't like that movie.
Yeah, so it still made 1 billion at the box office.
It did.
I think this is going to be an interesting film in terms of leading up to Infinity War. Whether Thanos makes an appearance, I think that's going to be interesting if he starts collecting. So
It's
yeah,
got to be an important one. You got two Avengers, basically the two Avengers that weren't in that last Captain America film.
yeah, Civil War. Um, okay then, so that is our review of the teaser trailer Thor Ragnarok. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and we'll see you in the next episode.